Hello and welcome back to the 2021 Magic City Mega Bowl presented by Dynamic Disc. This is the round 2 lead card, and we're going to be kicking it off at the John LeMaster Memorial Disc Golf Course in Trussville, Alabama.
My name is James Hopkins, and this is Jared Neal. Here's our lead card. Michael Johansen, Logan Bowers, Harper Thompson tied at 8 down, and Benjamin Page at 7 down.
All right, so here we have hole 1. This is the start off hole, 400 feet. Beyond the basket, it kind of slopes down. There's a creek back there. However, the sidewalk right in front actually acts as a creek. So you don't want to land in the sidewalk anywhere else besides that in the actual water, and you should be safe.
As you can tell, we are in the rain today.
Yeah, today is going to be a raining round. The entire round was pretty soaking wet, and
You want to stay on the sidewalk?
MJ just squeaking by in the inbounds right there.
We have Logan Bowers on the tee.
So Logan's a predominantly sidearm player in my book, and it's always interesting for me to see him throw backhands. And it looks like he landed on the safe side of the sidewalk. That puddle, however, is casual water.
See, Harper's pretty prepared for the rain today. Got the rain jacket and the umbrella.
Harper's going to be one to watch. He's a young gun out of Nashville, and as you could tell from that throw, he's got a little bit of power.
Yeah, that was pretty much straight up 400-foot spike hyzer. We got Benjamin Page out of Huntsville. A more direct route.
So this is a typical play I would see out of Ben. He's not the furthest thrower, but he's pretty smooth and pretty consistent on his shot. So Ben, knowing that going for the pin is probably not the best thing for him to do in the rain right off this tee, it's actually laid it up a little short. It should be really easy for him to have a routine layup putt, or maybe even give it a far run. Looks like Logan's just giving it a little layup.
It was actually a really good run from Ben there.
He was lucky he was throwing a Nova. Those things stick when they hit the ground.
A good opportunity. Oh, there goes the umbrella. We did have a little bit of wind on this Saturday here.
So imagine this is probably going to be something we see throughout the round. It's a little bit more open on this hole. The front side gets the wind a little bit more. The back side's a little bit more guarded, and there's a tree line on the other side of the creek that's going to block a lot of the wind. So right now you're going to see people definitely playing with their umbrellas as they try to keep everything down. It looks like this is just going to be an easy par cleanup hole for everybody. And there goes Harper running after his umbrella.
See, they're probably joking about it right there. You see them smiling and laughing at each other.
Do you suffer from a common yet financially draining condition called I need more discs-itis? Let's talk about the best solution, coming from me, a real doctor. Head over to Dynamic Discs Iron City for an incredible selection of both used and new plastic. With new inventory constantly arriving, you're guaranteed to find that brand new driver to give you an extra 50 feet. You don't have to do this alone. Head over to Dynamic Discs Iron City and join the Iron Throne.
So here we have hole 2. The distance is 250 feet. We It is a fairly tight tunnel shot that veers to the right. You do not want to hit a tree and kick off the fairway because the rough is pretty rough. There is a ravine right there, right before the basket, that a lot of players end up in. That's the typical spot to be in, where you have this uphill putt.
I was actually kind of surprised to see them playing the shorter position. It definitely brings the ravine in play more. There are some longer positions that go over the ravine and a little straighter. Being an A-tier tournament, I would figure they would stretch it out a little bit. But what do you think, James? With the amateur divisions playing this course, would that be the reason they kept it short?
Yeah, I think it's more of a speed of play aspect to it. Typically, because most people are going to try to get to that basket, because I think it's only around 330 or 340. But it takes a very specific shot to get there to the longer pin. And this pin still gives you a good scoring variance on the hole.
Looks like Harper's hit right in that side of that ravine, probably jumped down. I noticed too, you could tell he was really trying to get his hand dried off, and I think they're going to be dealing with that this whole round. And honestly, for me, sometimes throwing is hard, but sometimes I just putt wet just because it's a little bit more consistent. Because if it's wet, it's going to stay wet.
Yeah. It's one of those things you either have to really be adamant about drying everything off, or just steer into the skid and just learn to play with a wet grip. See, Johansen's way off into the rough there. He's having to do a very interesting. It kind of sticks a little bit. Typically, you can get a brutal roll down into that ravine if you hit that hill a certain way.
Good run from Logan. It's not quite the best example to kind of like gauge the depth of the ravine on Logan's height. He's not the tallest guy out there. But you can tell it was almost two Logans stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, the floor of that ravine's probably 15 to 18 feet below the basket. So it is definitely an elevated putt.
Wow, that was a bit atypical. I think what we saw from Logan and Harper were both overcompensations for making sure that they putted high enough. Honestly, that's typical for this style of basket. If you hit the weaker side, it doesn't seem to want to stay.
Ben making good on a birdie putt there. Yeah, these Mach 5s can be, you have to hit them right in the middle, and sometimes you can even still spit out on these Mach 5s. They tend to take a certain putt.
Hopefully we don't see any bad spit outs this round, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one or two.
Yeah, especially since they're wet as well.
Yeah.
Couple pars, a bogey, and one birdie. Here we have hole 3. There's 3 positions on this pin as well, on this hole as well. You have this straight pin, you have a right pin, and then we are actually playing to the left. So it goes out there probably 220 feet and then curves to the left.
I think this is the best pin placement for this hole, to be honest. I mean, the straight ahead is an ace run, but as you see what happened to Ben, I think that's the reason why the left position is the best. Instead of throwing a straight shot and let it just kind of fade over, it coaxes you into wanting to throw this cheap corner shot, which looks like Logan's done it pretty well. But the only problem is if you get a little bit too left or right, you smack one of those trees and you're straight in the woods.
Yeah. And in the woods, left or right on this hole is not what you want.
No, it's better to pitch out rather than try to force your way, even on a sub 250 hole.
Harper showing off a little bit of that power there. That was probably a putter that goes 60 feet long in the basket.
There's MJ with that signature banger he carries with him all the time.
Yeah. Showing some really good touch game there.
See, and MJ's showing you the play that you can throw it relatively straight and still do really well on this hole. It's all a mind game on this hole.
That's a great advancement for Ben there. He's going to have a very par look.
That's actually a pretty typical mess if you go far, because you don't want to run it too hard, because then you're going straight back in those woods, and those woods are not very far, and if you get stuck behind a tree and don't have a putt, man, it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, the leaves and branches on this hole have gotten overgrown as well, so it's even more punishing once you go into the rough. Wow, great putt from Ben there.
With hitting so early, I mean, that's a pretty easy sigh of relief right there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Large tree in the way.
Logan cashes that one around the guardian trees. Another great feature to this hole is that just those 3 guardian trees that really get in the way of your disc actually like bailing out into the proper place.
Really well placed pin. It makes you make a putt.
Good cleanup for Harper. And nice and routine for MJ. So hole 4, 331 feet, relatively straight-ish off the tee. I'll say straight-ish because you'll see the camera angle here in a minute. You actually want to do kind of like a baby S flex if you're throwing a right-hand backhand shot. I have a love-hate relationship with this hole.
Well,
I tend to group lock it too much.
Yeah, there's a couple different options. You'll see this forehand from Logan there, which actually gets through fine. He's going to be edge of circle. Didn't roll away too far.
Yeah, typically they actually filter a little bit more. It looks like he caught one of the rocks over there and had a big skip off the rock.
Yeah, there's actually a backhand turnover play towards that way as well.
I don't know if that was beneficial or not for Ben, because he started wide and he kicked really hard right. I mean, he's going to be short, but that may have actually worked out for
Looks
him.
like he was off his line just slightly. Ooh, this looks really good for Harper.
Man,
Showing that power. I mean, that's going to be 80 feet long. Oh, that's going to need to stop. This hill can really send some rollers down the...
yeah, so the next few holes actually play along that hillside. It's kind of hard to capture in the video right now. Looks like we may have missed MJ's drive, but he's typically a quick player.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's a good spot to land, though.
This looks like it's probably 50 feet or so.
Oh, good run.
Right there. Good run.
It looked like he had his Comet in his hand.
Yeah.
If I was going to throw a right-hand backhand and I played for Discraft, Comet would have been an excellent choice for this hole.
Yeah, Harper went so far he actually had an upshot instead of a putt. I think that one was a little left, but it's just the basket kind of showing its teeth there.
A little left, a little high. With the big ring at the bottom of those, if you're not in just the right spot, it'll tend to kick them out rather than keep them in. Oh, Ben was frustrated at
He
that.
was not happy with that shot. He knew that was low right out of his hand. That's just showing the conditions of what we're playing in today. Typically, you'll see 1, 2, 3 birdies on this hole.
Yeah, and for the way Ben putts, I mean, the putt he just missed is normally, he's going to make that every time.
Dynamic Discs Iron City, home of Alabama's largest retail disc golf selection. With an amazing trade-in program, you can get all the help you need towards all of your disc and accessory needs. Be sure to check out Dynamic Discs Iron City both in person and online.
On to hole 5. So this is in the more difficult placement. This is 450 feet, straight down a corridor, and then it kind of eases to the right. That's the little stake for the normal short pin, but this one is tucked in the back. If you don't have a good little lane for it, it sometimes can be really difficult to get right up there next to the tee. And
it is extremely easy to take big numbers on this hole.
Yeah, and Logan just showed you a typical mistake on this.
That's actually not that bad of a place to be, simply because it's out in the open. Oh, look at this shot. Oh, that is incredible.
So that's right in the mount. That's just past the short pin position. Harper's actually going to have a look, possibly a long jump putt.
You see MJ taking this. He's playing for a 3 on this hole. He's just taking that purple banger, just throwing it straight down the middle.
And you don't see 2s on that hole. It's usually if you get a 2, somebody has thrown it in.
It takes a very special shot. Oh no, this is not what you want. Hopefully that rolls out of the woods. If you go in those woods, it's pretty much an insta-bogey.
Yeah, it's really thick on that corner. And with the turnover shot, turning it over too quickly and catching that is, like you said, it's just an instant added stroke just to try to get back out.
Oh my gosh. Logan just absolutely puring the gap.
And Logan's one of the few people that you'll see, that disc he just threw, that's one of his Champion Classic rocks. And he throws that disc so well. But definitely one of the few people you'll see out at tournaments across the country that throws that classic rock. See, that just shows you how tight the mouth gets the further you get down the fairway and pinch yourself off. So James, what did you end up doing on this hole?
I typically throw a forehand off the tee. And then just try to be kind of down there to where I have just a simple putter up shot.
There, Ben went getting that bogey you were talking about.
Yeah, because he actually was on the edge and not all the way in there.
Yeah.
So, and you can really get in some danger once you get in there.
So that the greenery right behind the basket you see there, it's actually open right behind that. So like when I threw my drive, I actually threw it long and went on the backside, went around everything, and had to basically try to throw an elevator shot up and over that.
Mm-hmm. My forehand ended up going a little too straight, and I went down the hill to the left of all this and had to throw an overhand shot over the grouping left of the basket. Ended up still getting a 3.
That's a pretty good play from Logan. Even hitting an early tree, he was able to get that straight in the mouth and just dropping an easy putt. Looks like Harper probably played it the easiest out of everybody.
Oh yeah.
Have a chance for the 2, but drop in the 3.
It really pays to be in the open on that hole off the tee. All right, here we have hole 6. I believe this green went in for last year's Mega Bowl. Tim Keith does all the work out here. He works for the Parks and Rec. He's one of our Masters players around Birmingham. But he put in all these rocks and really built up a great island green here. It's 250 feet away. If you don't make the island green, you do go to a drop zone, which is right around 40 feet.
Yeah, just outside of circle 1 for the drop zone. And for as short as this hole, this island starts to get real small when you misthrow it.
Yeah, these trees on the right, it's a creek right to the right of that. They didn't used to be that tall, and now they are. It's you really can't take your low hyzer line. See, Harper's going the high hyzer. They're making the eye really easy, kind of.
Ooh. So Harper got pretty fortunate on that. I've seen plenty of people jump straight out of the island after doing either the high shot like that, forehand or backhand. It looks like, ooh, MJ's good to go.
Like Ben's going to go with that high hyzer as well. There's a tree right at the beginning part of the green. Wow. That can really affect the hyzer line. You really have to really miss that one tree. Wow, that's a great putt for Harper.
Sometimes it's a nerve-wracking putt too, because most of the green is inside the circle. There are a couple spots that are outside the circle, but sometimes when you go for it too hard, in Ben's case, just like that, if you ramp it off, you could actually ramp out of the island.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, typically when you see someone get a 3 on this hole, it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing. It means you made the putt from the drop zone, or you missed a putt after you made the island.
Yeah, missing a putt for your 2 on this hole is definitely frustrating.
Yeah, for the most part, it's the size of the circle.
There you go.
He makes good on the par there. He's disappointed with that one. Yeah, here we have hole 7. This one's playing downhill. There are three different gaps to take on this hole. The drone's flying straight down the middle, which is a really straight shot. It's 288 feet, but it does not play that far. A lot of players are going to take a forehand off to the left, as you'll see Logan do right here. But there's also a backhand flex line. Go in the basket.
There's actually a soft hyzer line as well. The only thing you have to contend with is there's a tree kind of on the right-hand side, and you have to go to the left-hand side of that tree to hit the hyzer line. But it's pretty typical to see a wide range of players throwing putters and mid-ranges on this hole.
Yeah,
because like you said, it's pretty downhill and it's not very far. There's that banger from MJ.
There's that straight gap there. If you can throw a disc straight, that gap is there for you all day. And what you can see with the
there's an OB path at the bottom. So
with the forehand is it does, if you saw it off a little early, it does skip and then roll OB.
So we're going to see that path come into play quite a few times on this course. That's a greenway path that runs pretty much the entire length of the course. It's actually pretty popular, so we have to watch out for a lot of pedestrians.
Well, maybe not in the rain, but typically on any given day, you're going to have all kinds of walkers around here.
Looked like a little bit more of that wet basket for MJ.
Yeah. That was slightly left, but I think it was one of those 50-50 putts. Could have gone either way.
Yeah, I would have gauged that on a dry basket, though. That would have actually pulled in.
And anytime you're going out of bounds on this course, you are losing strokes for sure.
Oh, definitely. The OB strokes on this course will definitely pile up on you. Most of these holes are able to get 2s on, so you're definitely losing a stroke. Okay, so this hole 8, it kind of plays up this kind of like runoff creek bed. Usually we play that water casual because there's nothing significant that's normally in there. So even in this rainy conditions, I believe it's still being played as casual, like it would in a dry condition. And this is all uphill right here. So there's a couple different main routes. Oh, Logan was trying to throw that left route, which is that little flick route. If you can hit that little gap, then it opens up to that field completely behind it.
You miss that one tree and it's all the way up there.
Yeah. It's like Harper's taking the taking a creative straight route that works out well. But he slid down into that little drainage creek, and he's going to be fine right there.
Yeah, he's 15 feet from the basket.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing about park golf is all you have to do is miss the few trees that are out there. Most of the time, it's trunks of trees that you have to miss for the most part. Then following Harper's line there, you're going to be in a very similar situation.
I actually really like this hole. I typically throw something that's going to go straight with a little tail and kind of up that straight gap. And if I hit it with enough power, it's just going to hold straight. Or it's just going to go through this open gap and then fade over to the wide open left side.
Yeah, that's Logan with that metal flake purple Firebird he has. That's a staple in his bag for sure.
Been able to capitalize, getting his birdie 2. Good bounce back after that bogey.
Yeah, definitely.
Harper just up and over the rim.
Another great birdie. That's one thing that's great about this course is you have to execute the shots, but once you do get rewarded for them.
Yeah, most of these holes are pretty rewarding for a good shot.
The National Amateur Disc Golf Tour. Take your first step into competition or your final step into professionalism. Visit nadgt.com for more information.
All right, here we have hole 9. This pin position is going to be somewhat new. I think the pin position's actually been in there, but it hasn't been in that location. It is 488 feet. It is quite a ways down there into this flat position down here in the bottom. Drone went the left route. Most of these players, I'm guessing, are going to take this right route.
So that path takes a couple different little turns, and the ultimate goal is just like that from Harper. You want to be able to place it up there, but you want it to be able to sit on that hill. A lot of the hyzers will come in, hit the hill, and then take a roll. And you can see there's a little bit of a kind of a fitness or playground area down there. And okay, that's a pretty fortunate roll. I've seen them go all the way down the path and go straight across the path and straight OB.
Yeah, here's Logan with the forehand. He's showing off that forehand power. This is going to be, oh no. Wow, that was going to be down there, within circle 2, I bet.
Yeah, and over there to the left is one of the shorter pins, and that's the main route for that pin placement is throwing that forehand shot. Looks like MJ's got a nice little low hyzer.
Yeah, this is pretty typical here. So you see, MJ's the furthest out, so he's probably 100 feet.
Yeah, but he's really not that far away. Yeah. I would imagine this is just going to be pretty routine for most, pretty routine par 3 for most players. Unless you really go for it, you're not really seeing too many 2 opportunities.
Yeah, you see Logan up there. If he wouldn't have hit that, he might have been down there for a putt.
It's a tricky hole too, because like I think the best shot at getting the 2 is throwing a hyzer flip flat. But the only thing is you don't want it to turn over and then start heading towards that path.
Yeah, and there's that one pine tree out there that if you get it high enough, you do hit some branches.
Yeah. You can definitely get the reward for the risk though.
In these conditions, though, you got to think, is it going to be worth it?
Yeah. Every time they play one of these holes with it being raining, they're wondering if the one hole is really going to affect the round, or is everybody going to get in trouble here in a couple more holes? The ending 2 holes on this course are actually pretty difficult. There's some chances for you to get by in the middle of it. So this is hole 9A. You got a Mando on the right-hand side. You gotta go to the left of that tree that had the arrow. It's just pretty much a straight 300-foot shot, a little bit uphill, but you have the path on your right. And the far left, you have that creek line again. And this is a temporary basket. This is a temporary tee pad. And you see how close Harper's coming to that path with being right there next to the basket. The path is like just outside of circle 1.
Yeah, we had one player go out of bounds on this one, throwing a forehand. We also had another player actually hit the Mando tree and kick way left over into actually 10's fairway.
So there is Logan Bowers with that classic rock again.
Perfect draw, right to the basket.
If I had to put money down, I would say that was a comment from MJ.
Definitely a comment. There's a putt. Like he liked that one. Oh yeah.
Do I dare say that this will be a star frame? I mean, it's looking pretty favorable.
If we weren't playing on Mach 5s, I would go ahead and call it.
And the rain too. Well,
there you go, folks.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. If it wasn't a wet condition on a Mach 5 style
I believe
basket,
this one's actually a chain star.
Yeah.
Very similar catching styles.
To be honest, I did the exact same thing Harper did. Just, except for I was a little bit more centered and just had it spit out sideways.
And there you have the first 10 holes. We're actually playing 19 holes today due to 9A.
All right, here's a blooper reel. You never forget, Robbie believes in you making the island.
It's just some of the incredible shots from the round.
Once again, thank you for joining us for this coverage of the round 2 front 10. From Run Productions, and we look forward to joining you on the second half of this round.